Good morning. I'm Carmen McBride. Welcome to First Unitarian Church, where our mission is to explore the eternal, nurture community, and pursue the common good. We welcome you in your brokenness and in your wholeness, no matter who you have been, who you are, or who you are becoming. We greet you today with love. I'd like to extend a special welcome to everyone who is watching us on YouTube this morning. During the prelude, please introduce yourself in the comments and let us know where you're joining us from. If you're in Oklahoma City, what neighborhood are you in? And if you're from somewhere else, what city? I have one brief announcement. After the service, we need volunteers to help with RE summer classes. So please see Tim, our Director of Religious Exploration, after the service. There's a big sign-up sheet that's going to hit you in the face as soon as you walk out the doors. But no experience is necessary, just a friendly face and a willing spirit. Now, the prelude prepares us for worship.
Good morning. We light the chalice as a symbol of our sacred time together. The burning chalice represents the light of reason and science, the warmth of loving community, the cleansing heat of justice, and the flame of hope. Please rise in spirit or body for our call to worship and our opening hymn. This day is a gift of love, a gift from God, a gift from life itself. Come, let us worship together. This is the day we have been given to live in, to love in, and in time, to die in. Let us be grateful for the incredible gifts of life. Let us rejoice in the promise and possibility of this day. And now our opening hymn, number 121. Well, good morning, and thank you for being here on this beautiful, sunny Sunday morning of 4th of July weekend, where we commemorate our efforts to build a land indeed where justice shall roll down like waters and peace like an overflowing stream. My name is Suzanne Broadbent. I'm one of the worship leaders today. I am a 73-year-old for our visually impaired people who may be watching or here in the sanctuary. I am a 73-year-old white woman with hazel eyes and gray hair that is dyed a sort of brown with highlights. Yeah, styled in a sort of a page boy. Now, I want to hasten to add, for those of you who can embrace your beautiful gray and white hair, I admire you and I love it. It is beautiful. I just am not there with you just yet. It'll come. I am wearing a blue dress with a white jacket, red and silver necklace, and a long draped white scarf with red and blue stars. And the bell choir members are also wearing these matching scarves with red and blue stars, except for our lone man, who is wearing a white shirt and a red, white, and blue tie made of beads. So the bell choir is all decked out. One quick housekeeping note, there are always these in my service. Something always has to be rearranged. The hymn of celebration and the benediction should be reversed. We'll do the benediction first and then the last hymn. Just follow along. You'll be fine. The theme of our service is the Us of A. We will contemplate the meaning of we the people and celebrate in words and music the ideals that gave birth to our nation and that have guided us for nearly 250 years. And now, our opportunity to give.
I'm Carmen McBride, and my pronouns are she and her. I am glad that Suzanne is embracing the gray in the hair because I have some in mine. It is short. I'm a brown-skinned biracial person, and I do a lot of different things in the church, one of which I'm the chairperson of the Religious Exploration Committee. Every Sunday, we take an offering. Since 2002, all the cash and designated checks from that offering have gone directly to external nonprofit organizations doing good work, our Change for Change partners. For the month of July, our Change for Change partner is Free to Live Animal Sanctuary. Free to Live rescues abused and abandoned dogs and cats and gives them care and sanctuary until they are placed in forever homes. Those who are not adopted live their life with companionship, care, and love from a team of devoted volunteers and staff. Through these life commitments to animals in need, they teach humane animal care to our community, state, and beyond. For those of you that are in the sanctuary with us today, in just a moment we'll be passing the offering plate. If you're not able to make a gift today, we invite you to place a note of encouragement in our Change for Change partner organizations, and we'll share those messages with them as well. And if you're watching us online, please make your gift by sending a check to First Unitarian. Just write Change for Change on the memo line, or you can make an online payment through our website, 1UC.org. And one last thing I forgot to mention, as Suzanne also mentioned, for those visually impaired, and knowing that Suzanne was going to be in red, white, and blue, I have a blue bandana, a white shirt with little holes in it, and a red t-shirt. So I'm red, white, and blue right there with you, Suzanne. Thank you.
Well, good morning, good people. I'm going to say about 99% of you know who I am, but just in case you don't, my name is Lorianna Lee-Knapp. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am a short African-American woman with rather large personality. I have brown hair, which is rolled up. I have a red, white, and blue scarf because I am on the bell choir. Yeah! I am wearing also my 1UC LGBTQIA+ t-shirt, not the new one, but the old one, and a blue sweater. So I'm red, white, and blue, and all the colors of our beautiful people of America. Thank you. Okay, so, I'm not nervous, not at all. I should like to begin today with speaking the most important parts of the proclamation, Emancipation Proclamation, and then I would follow with a short reflection, if that's all right with you. January 1st, 1863, by the President of the United States of America, that on the first day of January, in the year of our Lord, 1863, all persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of a state, the people whereof shall be in rebellion against the United States, shall be thenceforth, and forever free. And the executive government of the United States, including the military and naval authority thereof, will recognize and maintain the freedom of such persons, and will do no act or acts to repress such persons or any of them in any efforts they may make for their actual freedom. I'm going to skip the flowery language. We're going to move on. And by virtue of the power and for the purpose aforesaid, I do order and declare that all persons held as slaves within said designated states and parts of states are and henceforward shall be free, and that the executive government of the United States, including the military and naval authorities thereof, will recognize and maintain the freedom of said persons. And I hereby enjoin upon the people so declared to be free to abstain from all violence unless in unnecessary self-defense. And I recommend to them that in all cases when allowed, they labor faithfully for reasonable wages. And I therefore declare and make known that such persons of that such persons of suitable condition will be received into the armed services of the United States to garrison forts, positions, stations, and other places, and to man vessels of all sorts in said service. And upon this act, sincerely believed to be an act of justice, warranted by the Constitution upon military necessity, I invoke the considerate judgment of mankind and the gracious favor of Almighty God. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the United States to be affixed. Done at the city of Washington this first day of January in the year of our Lord 1863, and of the independence of the United States of America by the, United States of America, the 87th. By the President, Abraham Lincoln, William H. Seward, Secretary of State. So, wow, yeah. I practiced that at home. And it didn't feel so powerful as to when I read it to you today. I wrote a post on Facebook on Juneteenth after hearing the proclamation read in full on NPR website, and it struck me so that within 30 minutes I had written this piece. So if you'll indulge me, I shall read that as well. It is always important to remember our history as a nation. Our collective history is American history. I am grateful for all of us. The push, the pull, the inclusion and resistance, the growing pains of all types of all people to find a way to live together. This is America. Respect, listen, understand, then respect once again. I'm grateful for Juneteenth. Oh my gosh. How would our lives be if it never occurred? I ponder this today and am grateful for the recognition of one of the many decisions by President Lincoln and countless other people, named and unnamed, who helped us to give us and to give me an opportunity of a free and educated life. This is why it matters. This is why we all matter. Peace, shalom, aseh. Oh, thanks. Would you all please join us in singing the Hymn of Inspiration, number 149, in our gray hymnals.
Well, I have some news. I'm not sure whether it's good or bad. That is that today's sermon homily was not written by ChatGPT. So this is my story, and I'm sticking to it. We the people, 3 powerful words. They have an honored place in the American lexicon by virtue of their being the first 3 words of the United States Constitution. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. We celebrate July 4th as the birthday of our country, Independence Day, we call it, the day we declared our separation from England in the document known as the Declaration of Independence. Most of what we celebrate, however, our freedoms, are in the combination of two documents, and the Emancipation Proclamation among them, the Declaration of Independence proclaimed on July 4th, 1776, and the Constitution of the United States, written and adopted about 13 years later in 1789. Our July 4th celebration generally concentrates on these words in the Declaration. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, there is no doubt that the authors of the Declaration and the Constitution meant we, the people, included only men, and not all men at that. During the last 247 years, the circle has been broadened to include, in theory at least, all citizens of the United States. The concepts of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness set forth in the Declaration of Independence were given agency in the Constitution. The first 10 amendments, known as the Bill of Rights, guarantee freedoms of speech, press, assembly and protest, and religion, among other freedoms. The 13th Amendment outlawed slavery. The 14th Amendment guaranteed equal protection and due process, and the 19th Amendment recognized women's right to vote. Chief Justice Warren Burger, in his role as chair of the Commission on the Bicentennial of the Constitution, described the relationship of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution this way. He said, the Constitution sought to fulfill the promises of the Declaration of Independence, which expressed people's yearning to be free and to develop the talents given them by their Creator. This Constitution was not perfect. It is not perfect today, even with all the amendments, but it has continued longer than any other written form of government. We the people, what a concept, a big idea. That people could be trusted to govern themselves, that every person had equal and inalienable rights. The democracy that these words underlie is often referred to as the American experiment. That democracy has also been described as fragile, and indeed, without we the people, it is. We have been witness to that fragility. Our democracy has been grievously wounded and continues to be threatened by a fascist anti-democratic movement that is bewilderingly appealing to a large number of Americans and is supported and encouraged by some in powerful political and cultural positions. Bolstered by these forces, some talk of civil war and have even tried a rebellion on January 6, 2021, from which our democracy narrowly escaped. And over what? An ideology that rejects any concept of equality and inalienable rights, and that is stoked by hatred and vile rhetoric. Ideology organizes around a zero-sum mentality, a confidence in the rightness, the righteousness of the ideology. It creates the ability to put others in a category devoid of respect, humanity, and freedom. Alexander Solzhenitsyn, who had up-close and personal experience with the terror of ideology, having spent years witnessing the horrors endured by political prisoners in Soviet prisons, wrote in the Gulag Archipelago, "Ideology, that is what gives the evildoer the necessary steadfastness and determination, the social theory, which helps to make his acts seem good in his own and others' eyes. The concept of we the people, in contrast, is the antidote to ideology. We the people organizes around ideals, recognizing and respecting our neighbor's humanity, rights, and freedoms, creating empathy and embracing the rule of law. Alexander Solzhenitsyn also cautions that anyone is capable of being an ideologue. I sense an intolerance on the left end of the spectrum, opposite the intolerance of the far-right autocratic impulses. While not as violent, it has the capability of shutting down debate, discussion, or even questions. Is our democracy so fragile that we can't allow competing viewpoints, even if they're hateful, disgusting, or personally hurtful? I submit that our democracy and our institutions will be stronger from getting all views out in the open. Shutting down leads to mistrust, resentment, withdrawal, and going underground. Freedom of speech, one of our cherished liberties, is vital to democracy. Shutting down one type of speech inevitably leads to shutting down another type, perhaps one's own. As a young law student, I cut my teeth in constitutional law studying what has become known as the 1UCOKC case. It seems instructive here. The case was National Socialist Party of America, yeah, you got it, the Nazi Party, versus 1UCOKC, Illinois. The Nazi Party sought to hold a demonstration in 1UCOKC, and local officials denied their permit. The Nazi leader contacted the ACLU, known, of course, for its defense of free speech. The case arose in 1977, only 32 years after the end of the Holocaust, upon the Allies' victory in Europe. Feelings ran high. In an interesting twist of fate, the ACLU lawyer was a young Jewish attorney, David Goldberger. While the United States Supreme Court did not issue an opinion on the merits of the case, it issued an emergency order that the demonstration must be allowed to proceed, a move supportive of free speech. As distasteful, horrifying, and traumatic as the Nazi demonstration was then and would be today, the damage to free speech and by precedent to other freedoms by the censorship could be more damaging. In a history of the case, Mr. Goldberger noted that, ironically, 1UCOKC's efforts to enjoin the Nazi demonstration replicated the efforts of Southern segregationist communities to enjoin civil rights marches led by Martin Luther King. Very often in the 1960s and 70s, we saw signs that read, "I may disagree with what you say, but I will fight to the death your right to say it." This is the we the people I believe in. I believe we the people are stronger than ideology. Our strength runs from the bottom up, not the top down, at least for now. But we must show up. We must assert optimistic belief in our shared values. We must enthusiastically and joyfully reclaim our freedoms and ideals. And we must acknowledge and celebrate victories for democracy, such as just this last Tuesday, the United States Supreme Court ruled against the independent legislature theory, a pet project of the autocratic wannabes that would have given state legislatures almost unchecked power of elections, possibly even to the point of overturning them. Cheered by conservatives and liberals alike, the Supreme Court decision was described by a prominent conservative former federal judge, Michael Ludwig, as the single most important case on American democracy and for American democracy in the nation's history. So there is hope and work to be done. A young New Hampshire state representative, Angie Brennan, newly elected, puts it this way: "We all have a responsibility to fight for the future of our democracy. It's going to take all of us coming together. The future of our democracy depends on hope, humanity, and hard work, and I'm not giving up on any of that. In the Old North Church in Boston, where 2 lanterns were hung on April 18, 1775, signaling Paul Revere to deliver the message that the British were invading, a new historical play depicts the anguish of 3 men on that eve of the Revolutionary War, trying to determine their course of action. One of the characters is Cato, an enslaved man played by Nathan Johnson. Johnson, who is black, promised himself early in his acting career that he would never play an enslaved person. But the depiction of Cato and the importance of the play's message made the role too compelling to pass up. Johnson says, "I want everyone to see that we have all something to contribute to our history. I want everyone to see that it is not a matter of white and black. It is a matter of America. It is a matter of progress. It is a matter of stakes. It is a matter of tension." Johnson's thoughts echo Lorianna's beautiful reflection that, in Lorianna's words, our collective history is American history. And let me repeat more of Lorianna's words. The push and pull, the inclusion and resistance, the growing pains of all types of people to find a way to live together. This is America. So as my friend Dino Lawley observed in his column reminding us of all the celebratory events that we can enjoy with friends and family this 4th, July 4th is above all about community. By rallying around our ideals of equality and freedom and respect, we create community. A community of we the people. A community called America. I invite you now into the spirit of prayer and meditation to think on these things. You will hear a lovely rendition of one of our classic patriotic hymns for which I have substituted my own words, not because I'm offended by the original beautiful words, which celebrate liberty and freedom, but for the purpose of helping to reflect on our witness to this 4th of July in the year 2023.
Words of equality, of life and liberty, of these I sing. The promise that I can pursue my happiness with every breath and every song, for this I'll sing. Thou born in this free land, thou who yearns here to stand, for thee I sing. Long may this land be bright with freedom's promised light. From every shore and borderline, let welcome ring. Land free of tyranny, where no one's God is king, for this I pray. The promise of this day, by us renewed, we pray, in every heart and every voice, let love
July 4th, 2023 is a day of promise, like that first day of our independence. The words proclaimed on that day have resonated in our nation and around the world for nearly 250 years, giving power and hope to humankind. I invite you to stand in body or spirit for the joining of the excited throng gathered at the dais outside Independence Hall in Philadelphia at noon on July 4th, 1776, for the first public reading of the Declaration of Independence, abridged and read today with an important edit consistent with its living tradition. In Congress, July 4th, 1776, a declaration by the representatives of the United States of America. When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitled them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all people are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. And now, please stand in body or spirit for our final hymn, number 153. Clap your hands, whatever you want to do. We end our service with extinguishing our chalice. taking the words of a man who was born into abject poverty and deprivation, who rose to save a nation. He said, "With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right as God gives us to see the right, let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds, do all which may achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace among ourselves and with all nations. We here highly resolve that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth." Abraham Lincoln. We'll celebrate the 4th and get back to work for democracy on the 5th.